Hello viewers, Axel here. Welcome to another Axel's Log. Today, we're going to talk about the Steam controller. Now, I was going to do a full, review of the controller after I spent about not even a week with it yet, so it'd be kind of a more first impressions review than a full review. But I decided there were two very specific features of the Steam controller that I wanted to touch upon that are not really talked about much in other reviews, except for a certain thing that was put up by PC Gamer a few days ago. They kind of went pretty in-depth. But most other reviews, especially early ones, did not mention these things. Now, that could be due to, software or firmware updates that happened along the way. But, as you can very easily tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about the Gyroscope and the touch menu features of this. So to demonstrate these two things, we're going to jump into the only game that I currently have configured that makes use of both features, Payday 2. So we're starting with Payday 2 for one very good reason. The main one is that it's the only game that I have configured to make use of both the touch menu and the gyroscope. Now, in this particular case, this is not the best representation of what the touch menu is capable of, because I only have 4 things mapped to it, which could easily be done with a D-pad or something, but I like being able to see what I'm doing at a glance, and plus for switching firing mode or gadgets. Again, it could be done with the D-pad, but it's just okay, we're gonna go to the gadget and switch to the flashlight real quick, or the laser, or turn it off, or something like that. I usually leave the laser on though, but that's not the point. And then, a primary, secondary. So in this case, with just 4 buttons, you could easily just map that to a D-pad instead of a touch menu input. But with the touch menu, you're not limited to just 4 inputs. You're not limited to just, say, 7, 9, or 12. You can get up to 16 buttons mapped to the touch menu. So if you wanted to, say, play an MMO or something on the Steam controller, you could. You're also not limited to just single button presses. I'm going to fix this before I forget. You can put multiple buttons to each entry on the touch menu. So you could also do your macros or something, map those to the touch menu and just use it that way. So it's very versatile, and I see a lot of potential for stuff with the touch menu. But that's about all I can really demonstrate of it right now. So we are going to jump into a map here so I can demonstrate the gyroscope versus the touchpad for aiming and stuff. I'm also going to do a quick comparison between how I do with the gyroscope with the Steam controller and how I do with the mouse and keyboard, just to give a quick comparison of those. Let's go and do Hotline Miami. Why not? Why not? Gonna go in with a sniper rifle, and I did a previous take of this that was not as well done. I did this shotgun last time, but I'm gonna actually go with an SMG this time. Kind of give a nice variance of stuff, like a single shot precise weapon versus an automatic weapon. Should be a good comparison there. So that's the wrong button. Alright. Yay! Alright, so we're going to start with the Steam controller to demonstrate how well that does. We can go ahead. Let me go with the sniper to start with, so we can do the precise shots and go from there. So I'm using the gyro right now, not the touchpad, because the touchpad, it's usable, but it's really awkward for trying to do precise aiming with. So I'm doing the touchpad right now. Definitely not as good, not as quick to get those shots lined up. If we go back to the gyro, it's a lot more controlled and easier to get those precise shots. So most of the Steam controller versus keyboard and mouse test here is going to be gyro on the Steam controller versus mouse and keyboard, because the gyro is really the way that you want to use the Steam controller for shooters, because it is so nice for that. So very nice for that. Oop, Another dude over there. I mean, on the map that I was doing in the other recording, there's actually snipers at a very nice distance. Oh, hey, look. Oh, what am I messing now? Ah, we had to kill all these guys. Alright, so that was kind of mid-long range combat. Let's see how some close range combat goes. Honestly, it's probably going to go a little bit worse. They have explosives on these doors. I'm kind of worried about this. I guess I could also probably show you guys what I have stuff mapped to here. I originally based it on one random community member's configuration, but I've tweaked every configuration for every game that I've played with this so far. So if you're looking at the Steam controller and you want something that'll just work perfectly out of the box for every game, it's not going to. You're definitely going to either need to find a good community configuration or stick with the official one if there is one, or what I would recommend is making your own and tweaking it to suit your needs best, because that's what I always do, and that just works best for me. So if you don't mind tweaking the controller in the configuration to work as best as it can for how you like to play, you probably honestly don't want to look into the Steam controller. That was not what I thought it was. Okay, there's no detonator on that mine there. Looks like a claymore. Huh? Okay. Yeah, yes we have, Bane. Shut up. We're not doing the meth right now. This is about shooting and accuracy and shit. We're gonna need sniper for this. Oh god. Okay. Now would probably be a decent time to go back to keyboard. But then again, you know what? No. I haven't done enough with this. This is like perfect for demonstration. This is a nice firefight going here. So as you can already see, if I was trying to do this with just a regular gamepad, that would not work so well. But since we're using the gyroscope on a Steam controller, it's working fantastically. Hello. Now, I will say right now, even though I have not demonstrated yet, I'd probably be getting these shots lined up a lot faster. Well, a bit faster with the keyboard and mouse combo. There's a sniper out there. And he is dead. But yeah, I can say it probably would be a little bit faster if I were just using mouse and keyboard. But considering that this is a controller, and I can get the shots lined up as well as I can, that's really nice. So if you like playing games from the comfort of a couch, Steam controller is great if you have a PC. It's fantastic. Valve really made a fantastic piece of hardware here. Soon, or at least once they got stuff all nice and set up. Another cool thing with the Steam controller, of course, that isn't really one of the main points of this, since we're just demonstrating the gyro here, is the fact that you can have separate, they're called action sets. So if you play something like Arma 3, where you have like infantry, vehicles and air vehicles and stuff like that, you can have a different set of controls for each of those different circumstances. You do have to switch between them with the touch of a button, unless it's like an officially supported thing, because like Portal, for example, it hasn't like automatically shifted between your regular controls, the foot controls, and the menu controls. So Portal, of course, since that's a first-party Valve title, it makes sense that things would work fantastically for them there. But I'd like to believe they could probably have things to where developers could make official ones that work like that. So that'd be pretty nice. I would show you guys as I'm explaining it, like with the menu, but in the first recording of this, the game randomly crashed as I was going through the menu. I think that was just something with the Steam overlay itself, because Steam crashed as well. So, I don't know, that was kind of weird. That has nothing to do with the controller, though. I said I was going to compare to mouse and keyboard, but I kind of got distracted, because we need a lot of gasoline for these cars. Okay, I'm going to go back up higher a little bit, and that's my jump button. That's my jump button. At least, I'm glad that I'm finally at the point where I at least remember my buttons, because once when I was doing this, I had things kind of not perfect, and I kept forgetting what to press for what, but now I got things pretty good. So it's working pretty well, as I hope I am demonstrating here. Because I feel like I'm getting these shots pretty well. Now, most of them are stationary targets, which would not happen in like a competitive shooter, for example. But then again, even with keyboard and mouse, I still kind of suck at shooting moving targets. So, alright, since there's still a bunch of them out there, I think this is a good time to put the controller down. Okay, and we're going to go to keyboard and mouse now. See how well I can do with that in comparison. Now, one thing that I immediately notice as I'm doing this is my movements are a little bit jittery as I'm trying to do things. Oh, well. Whoops. Stable. That was in the crotch. I apologize, good sir. I do indeed apologize. What I need to do is redo my bindings on the controller configuration to better match like what I'd like to have for just the keyboard and mouse controls here, just in case I need to go to keyboard and mouse, because I had them custom set to other stuff before, like by default F is the use key, G is throw, E is melee. I changed it to E was use, and like my middle mouse button was melee and stuff like that. But then I reset it to default because I was trying community configurations for the Steam controller before I had the epiphany of I should custom do this stuff because that would just be better anyway. Honestly, now that I have a feel for the Steam controller, this is actually not much different, if I do say so myself. I'm kind of getting the shots lined up a bit faster, but not really. And again, it's just I don't exactly have a huge mouse pad, so I'm trying to move it slowly. It just kind of bumps around a little bit in the fine motions. I think it might have kind of done that with the You're dead. Okay, might have kind of did that a little bit with the gyro as well, but yeah, at least for the long-range combat here, I think that felt pretty similar. Shut up, Bane. Fine, let's torch this car. Let's torch this car. There we go. Okay. Let me switch back to you, try to get some more close-range combat going. Now this is probably where the controller is going to do a little, or keyboard and mouse is going to do a little bit better for me. Just getting those high-paced, close-up shots and stuff is a little bit easier. I'm going to go back to Steam controller to demonstrate that a bit better. I wish I could give you guys a better angle of the Steam controller being used, but I can't because I suck. Oh god. So yeah, for the close-range aiming, it's actually kind of it is definitely more noticeably easier with keyboard and mouse, at least for me. Might differ for other people, but for me it's a little bit easier to do the long-range shots with the Steam controller, like the close-range stuff. That's a sniper somewhere. He is up there. His laser is jittering, and now he is dead. Alright, we need more gasoline for this. So I'm going to finish the gasoline objective here, and hopefully that'll give a reasonable look at how things are with this controller. But again, as I keep reiterating, this would be so much worse if I was using a regular gamepad. Hello, friend. Yeah! Ow. Oh god. The problem when I'm trying to aim while meleeing like that is I need to still hold down my left trigger to properly aim with the gyro, because that's how I have things set up with this. Because that's another nice thing about the gyroscope. You can set it to only activate either be always on or to activate with a certain button press, which having it with a button press is really nice, because then you can just not have it go while you are doing other stuff that doesn't require the precision of the gyroscope. You can just have it go down, like if you're aiming like down the sights of a gun, for example. Is there a sniper there? Shit. Again, like half of these shots that I'm missing here, I probably would have missed with the keyboard and mouse too, because I get impatient and pull the trigger too early sometimes, or a little too late. That just kind of happens, because my reflexes suck sometimes. Hello, friend. But yeah, in the first recording that I did of this, I've mentioned that a few times. I did another recording. I actually was like doing a lot worse at first too, but I think I've gotten the feel for things again here. So we're definitely doing better than I did in the first recording, which is good. Which is very good. Very, very good. There was a dude over there somewhere. They're pulling back. I said I was going to keep going until we got to the end of the gasoline objective here, but I feel like I should probably talk about some other stuff, because that would make sense. But that would make sense, and this is me we're talking about. I'm not allowed to make sense, like, by order of the law of the country that is within my brain. So, instead, we're going to do that anyway. Except I can't think of anything else I was going to talk. Oh, yes, I can. Alright, so that's pretty much as far as I can go for a demonstration of the gyroscope here. As you've probably seen, it's very similar. I don't know, I still don't think it's quite as quick as keyboard and mouse, but it is still it is surprisingly really good. And again, on a controller. On a controller. We're doing pretty accurate shots and stuff. So one thing I want to try that I mentioned earlier was like configuring this for an MMO. Now I don't play a whole lot, there's only a few that I really do play, and probably only like 2 that I'll make videos of. Maybe maybe 3. Okay, 3 that I might make videos of. The first one is going to be of Mabinogi. The second, eventually, will be of the Old Republic. And then the third, we'll try Blade and Soul. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to set up a Steam controller configuration for each of those MMOs to see how well I can do things. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know when I'm going to get around to that stuff. But in addition to that, as part of this series of Steam controller videos I'm going to be making, I'm also going to see if I can set up a usable configuration for the Steam controller to be used with not a game, but video editing software, just to see if I can, just to see how versatile this thing can be. Because another thing, shut up gamepad, because another thing that I've seen mentioned is people using this for like home theater PCs, which I can actually see that making sense, especially considering you can add anything to Steam. Any program, any launchable program, you can add that to Steam, and therefore you can use it with the Steam controller. That is the only prerequisite. I just shot into air there for no reason. Trust me, that would have happened with keyboard and mouse too. Because I am definitely not the best at things. It also helps that this particular sniper rifle is pretty fast firing. There's another sniper. Speaking of snipers, there's others out there. But anyway, if you have suggestions for other like non-game applications you'd like to see me try to put the Steam controller to use in, let me know in the comments below. I'm also thinking of doing a weird configuration sort of thing for other games, where I'm going to do a very unorthodox configuration. The first thing that I have in mind for such a thing is Dark Souls, which is hard enough on its own, of course. But I'm going to try to put a very odd configuration that hopefully will still be usable, but not very orthodox, such as using the gyroscope for weird stuff that it probably should not be used for, depending on how well I can actually do that. I'm not sure how well that would actually work out with what I have in mind, but we shall see. So I have a lot more in mind for Steam controller videos. Again, if you have any suggestions for weird or crazy stuff you'd like to see me try to do with it, let me know in the comments below. If you guys like this and want to see more things like this, also make sure to let me know in the comments below, and make sure to like, consider subscribing, all that good stuff. Till next time, this has been Axel. Thank you guys for watching. If you like the Steam controller, keep punching that like button, which I've told you to do twice now. That's a bit odd. And until then, I will see you guys in the next video. I say as I look away from the guys that are shooting at me. That's brilliant. That's a great way to get killed. Great way to get killed. Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, one more thing I forgot to mention before we end things off here. When I do the configurations for the MMOs, I'm going to do a separate video showing like, okay, this is what I did and stuff. But for the actual configuration process, I'm thinking of live streaming when I do the configurations. Now, Obviously, there's going to be not as much gameplay for those as there could be, since it'll be a lot of configuring things, trying to figure out what works, what doesn't. But if you guys are interested in that and you want me to live stream when I configure those things, let me know, and I will announce those through Twitter and stuff, as I usually do. Link to my Twitter is in the description below, as is the link to my Twitch page. Alright, I think that is everything that I had for this. So, again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Man, I brought that SMG for close range and to mid-range stuff, but I'm still using the sniper rifle for that very purpose. Well, you're dead. Because it's mapped to my aim button, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Ooh! Just got that guy.